What if I told you there's a 12-year secret behind this bread that almost nobody knows about? In this video, I'm going to show you the physical endurance, extreme attention to detail, and most important of all, patience required to master Chef James' signature sourdough pita bread. Let's start with the difference between regular and sourdough bread.
99% of bread use commercial yeast, like the challah here, the semolina here, and there are two ways of getting this yeast. You do it like most bakeries where you add commercial yeast, which completely accelerates the process, or there's another way of doing it where you take the flour and the water and you use naturally occurring yeast in your environment to feed the dough. The only thing with the natural yeast is it takes much longer. The type of bread that comes out of that is called sourdough. Let's go to the bread aisle. That is not sourdough bread. Literally take any bread in the aisle. Nature's own honey wheat. See, yeast is on that label. Now let me show you the steps that Chef James has taken for the past 12 years to keep this sourdough making process alive.
The first question I had is, how did Chef James get started?
12 years ago, I mixed together flour and water and let it ferment, and then kept using it and feeding it, and kept the yeast cultures that it picked up from the air alive within the starter. So if like my starter died and I didn't have more of it, I'd have to start another starter.
And now let's dive into the process behind how this bread is uniquely made.
So I make large batches of dough, so I don't have to mix dough every day. I'm making dough every 4 days.
He then measures it into the quart containers to get used for making the bread. After measuring, he goes back down into the basement to get the flour to feed the starter. And of course, he adds water too.
And then it actually is 166% hydrated, so it doesn't grow. So it's a liquid starter.
The starter gets brought down into the fridge for 4 days, and here's how it looks after a 4-day fermentation.
This is hungry starter. This is the hooch, and this is the more solid state of the starter. But this is hungry. If you smell that.
It smells like a good beer.
And now Chef James prepares the dough in the mixer. He'll pour the starter in, as well as more water to form the base of the dough. He adds semolina flour, and then he actually had to replace his 00 flour, but once he was done replacing it, he measured it out to an exact weight and then poured it right into the mixer. He finally adds salt for extra flavor, and since this is an orbital mixer, he has to manually put the bowl into position, and then it will get started and stir the dough.
So this is the initial mix, right? So this is gonna mix for about 4 minutes just to become homogeneous. You'll see it start to scrape away from the bowl. And then we're gonna shut it down and let it sit for an hour. And then every hour after that, we're gonna mix it for 30 seconds until the dough is ready. It's just like shiny and smooth.
Looks great.
That's it, man.
Now the dough is ready to get portioned. He just has to get it upstairs. So he'll take the hook out, oil up his hands, take the bowl off the mixer, and somehow get the dough onto the tray. Once it's on the tray, he'll throw a lid on and put it into the walk-in fridge until he's ready to bring it upstairs to use. This is real manual labor, no joke.
That's it, man.
Once he was ready to use the dough, he started by taking empty trays which would be used to store the dough balls. He'll put the dough on the table and cut the dough into the 5.5-ounce portions, which are then coated in flour to ensure they don't stick. Once he has the portions ready, he'll roll them into dough balls and oil them up and put them into the tray. It is such a pretty process to watch.
So you see the size of those downstairs? These are actually proof, ready to go.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
He'll take the proof dough and coat it in flour, roll it out to a much flatter pita, almost like he's making a pizza. Coat it in some more flour to ensure it doesn't stick. Brush it with oil, add some extra seasoning, and then in it goes into the 500-degree oven, where it only has 90 seconds to roast, and look at it grow. It's crazy. All that steam on the inside is causing it to puff up like that. It looks effortless, but he has to time this to a T. And once it's ready, you'll take the pita out of the oven and immediately onto the plate in order to get served. Then he put finishing touches on my dips, and look at that plate. And now the fun begins. Let me show you my reaction.
Half-eaten pita already, but there you go. Cheers. Basically, it has sensations of what I was smelling before in the basement, but you could taste it and it tastes proper. When you smell it in the basement, it's not cooked yet, it's not properly done, but then the second it gets cooked, oh my God. That is spectacular. Here's our other pita, also half-eaten. Let's try it alone. Also, amazing. It's like real bread. This pita bread experience, second to none.
It was just unreal. I love how pita, simple pita, is the highlight of the restaurant. It just makes me happy.
If you like this video, you can check out some of my shorts. I've been doing how pizza's made, how bagels are made, and I have many more videos to come like this, so.
Yeah, subscribe to my channel.